Long Island, New York, America's fastest growing community. Home, place of business, playground for the millions who live in Nassau and Suffolk counties. But Long Island wasn't always like this. Not many years ago, it was a quiet, semi-rural community, just a place where things were going to happen. And this is our story. Maybe it's because the sun seems to hit that place a little more often. Or maybe it's a spot of fertile land that coaxes a farmer to it with promises of fulfillment. Maybe that's what brings men to a place. Men who make things happen. Men who'll take the promise of a place and make it grow. And if it's an exceptional place, it's likely to attract exceptional men. Men to write poems. When lilacs last in the dooryard bloomed, and the great star early drooped. Men to build castles. Men to lead the strenuous life. And to lead the nation. Men to do things for the first time. Great deeds like Lindbergh's solo flight across the Atlantic. This is Long Island, a place where things have happened, are happening, are going to happen. Just as gold brought settlers to California, something is bringing people to Long Island.
If you ever lived in the city, you'd know what attracts people to Long Island. They all come for the same reasons. Out here, there's room to breathe. You can afford your own home with a yard. There's room for the boys to grow among the trees and open spaces, the way I did, not surrounded by asphalt and concrete. And there's plenty of room for their father to relax in. Beautiful parks and recreational areas. And our fine parkways make it easy to get there.
You couldn't drag me back to the crowded city. I've got everything I ever wanted right here. The best stores and shops. Excellent schools for the children, from elementary through high school. Even colleges. We're modern out here, but we haven't forgotten our heritage. We have a knack of preserving the traditional alongside the new.
Most of us work right here on the island. Back in 1940, it was 1 out of 3. Most of us were commuters then. But now, the situation is reversed. And more than 2 out of 3 work here, where we live. We've got a lot of jobs to do on the island, from building planes and missiles to cameras and transistor radios. Big business and small. We've got a lot of farmland here, too. And the ocean has been important to us from the beginning. For business, for pleasure, along 1,000 miles of waterfront.
Seems there are a lot of reasons people come to Long Island, and they've been coming since as far back as the early 1600s. But the real population explosion is comparatively recent. More new homes built in 9 years of Long Island growth than in the whole history of Boston. The old estates, once so typical of the island, are disappearing, or being broken into smaller developments. Where once a single mansion stood, now 20 people own their own small castles. Long Island is a place of contrasts. of diversity, of both people and places. From the Queens County line to Montauk Point. That's 100 miles, and it's filled with the greatest variety of things and people you're likely to find anywhere. Suppose you wanted to shop and your favorite stores were miles away. Or suppose you wanted to deliver a political idea to all the people on the island when they don't even have one government, just separate counties, townships, and villages. What's needed is a communications medium that not only reports the news of the nation and the world, but one that reports and interprets and takes part in local happenings with the interest of a leading citizen.
World War II changed the face of Long Island. It had brought over 100,000 defense workers to the area, and the end of the fighting overseas released millions of GIs to fight at home for some place to live. On Long Island, an imaginative building concern, Levitt & Sons, had an idea about this problem.
A new kind of Long Island home was designed, a quality house, but one that could be rented for $60 a month. The key was assembly line construction of homes without cellars, built on radiant heated concrete slabs. This was not a sales promotion gimmick. It was a guarantee of 2,000 rental homes to return servicemen. There was nothing to rent in those days. The veterans were doubled up in attics and cellars. Most of them couldn't afford to buy homes, so rental homes were a necessity. Unfortunately, other people had different ideas. Our sources told us that the Hempstead Town Board might block the project because of an archaic building code requiring basements. So Newsday jumped into the fight on the side of the veterans.
Our job was to campaign for changing the local building code so the Levitt homes could be constructed. We dug into the facts. We found there was nothing technically wrong with this new type of construction.
The main battle was to be fought on May 27th, the day the town board met to decide whether to change the code.
None of us will ever forget that meeting. Thousands of veterans answered Newsday's call. They jammed the town hall, ready to stay until they got the decision they wanted.
The long-awaited battle was over in 20 minutes. The code was revised, clearing the way to build Levittown.
Levittown set off the explosive post-war growth of Long Island. It was the beginning of the island's tremendous building boom, homes ranging from $10,000 to $100,000. Getting those building restrictions changed brought a great influx of people. More business came to the island, and this in turn brought more people. Thus began a cycle that never has ended.